Hey there, I'm Jenn LaBuzz with the Indie Author Addict podcast. We are broadcasting out of Next Phase at Superstition Springs Center, and today I have author Mimi Francis. Welcome, Mimi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Mimi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And I hear you're a romance writer, sassy romance writer.
I am. I write spicy romance. I have one series that is Actors and Bodyguards Getting a Second Chance at Love in Hollywood. I have a small town romance series, and I have a mafia romance series.
Mafia romance.
Yes.
Do tell.
Mafia romance, it's my bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
My first book is actually based on supernatural fan fiction that I wrote back in the day. That's how I got my start, is as a fan fiction writer. So I have a book, it's called Taken by the Mobster, and it started life as supernatural fan fiction about Dean Winchester. And when I decided to go into original fiction, I decided to adapt it into original fiction. So I took all of it, I actually moved it, I was set in the 40s, I moved it to current times, and I expanded on all the characters, gave them a life of their own. And it's about a mobster who is going up and down the East Coast, and he is robbing banks, and he is recognized by a teller in one of the banks, so he kidnaps her to keep her from talking to the authorities. So that's book one, and then book two just came out in July, and it's called The Mobster's Daughter.
I'm literally thinking back to when I used to be a bank teller, and I'm like, never had that experience, but okay.
Probably not a handsome one, and a handsome mobster robbing the bank and taking you hostage, but
No. I didn't have any mobsters robbing banks, so that's good. That's a good thing. I'm happy to not have that experience. So writing.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you've written a bunch of books.
I have. I've written 11.
That's a lot. Does writing energize you, or does it like deplete you? Like, how do you feel when you're writing?
Writing energizes me. Anytime that I start writing, it's like somebody lights a fire underneath me,
Okay.
and I take off. Writing is it's my thing. It's the one thing that I use it to escape when, the world is chaos and things are crazy. I use writing to get away. I use writing to keep me, it helps that dopamine rush in my head. It just keeps me going. It has always been something that I have enjoyed, and it never feels like work. It always is something that I like to do. So it energizes me. I love it.
I mean, clearly with like 11 books, I would think like if it depleted you, you'd probably stop it.
Yeah, at some point I probably would have stopped. But I feel like every single time I finish a book, I'm ready to jump into the next book. I'm not one of those people that finishes a book and takes a break before I start the next one. I jump right into the next book and start going on it. So
wow,
yeah,
okay.
I don't pause. I keep going.
So on that, when you write, are you more of an outliner, or do you just write as you get the ideas coming in?
Yeah, I don't outline at all, which is interesting. I know a lot of people, this many books in, normally I know people who are like, well, I started off as a pantser, not with an outline. And then as I went along, I started writing an outline. I never write an outline. I just get the idea in my head, and I just start writing. And the words just kind of flow. And I'm kind of unconventional in the way that I write. I know a lot of people will write the entire book in like one long document. Every single chapter for me is a different document, so that I can move my chapters around. And like once I write something, if it's not working somewhere, I can move it to a different part of the chapter. So that's how I write. I keep all of them in a separate document. It helps me kind of see where I'm going and what I'm doing. I do what's called reverse outlining. Okay. So as I go through and write the chapters, I have an outline that tells me what I wrote in each chapter. And then I can go through and I can look at it and I can say, okay, you know what, this is right here in chapter 23 is actually going to work better up here in chapter 10. And I can move stuff around that way. Plus I put a ton of notes in my chapters. I have brackets and all over my chapters that what might have a note in it, like, hey, make sure you explain this in more detail here. Oh, go back and fix this in this chapter because you forgot to put that in, and stuff like that. So that's how I write, no outlines.
Gotcha. So you flow and then go back
I just let it flow, and then I go back and edit and fix from there.
That.
Yeah.
Fair. I right there with you. And if any of my college professors are watching,
yes, sorry,
the paper still came out good.
Exactly. Just because I don't use an outline does not mean it's garbage.
So tell me about this book. So you said
Okay.
this is the second.
This is the second book. The main character in this book, the way I write all my books, is the characters pop up in each other's books. So I
Okay.
call their interconnected standalone reads. None of my books
Okay.
in any of my series have to be read in any order. You can read them out of order and it won't affect what you're doing. This book is the main character in Taken by the Mobster, her sister Caitlin. She's the daughter of a mobster, and she is accused of murdering a rival mafia family's son. And she has to go on the run to prove that she didn't do it. So she calls her father's second in command, Grady, and Grady comes and gets her. Her name's Caitlin, and they go on the run to keep her safe so that until they can prove that she had nothing to do with the son's murder.
I love
Yeah, and so it's an age gap romance. There's a substantial age gap in there.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's an age gap romance because it's Dad's best friend. So not only is he Dad's second in command, but he's also Dad's best friend. So it is an age gap romance. Not icky, I promise. I did my best to make it. I was very careful to not make it icky or come across as weird or anything. So I have people, my daughters, who read for me, and they're like, "No, Mom, it's not icky. It's good." So,
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're like doing the proofing
Yep,
for you.
they
being
prove
like,
things for me. Yeah, one of my daughters is, Tiana, is 100% honest with me. She will not let me write anything that she thinks is even questionable. So if something comes up that she's like, Mom, no, that doesn't work, she'll tell me. She pulls no punches. She's completely honest with me. So
That's really good. You have like an at-home editor.
I do. I have an at-home editor.
That's fantastic. I like how you said these are all, like, you can read them standalone, but they all do go together.
Yes, they do all go together. They all occur in the same universe, basically. So, one of my small town romances set in Lakeside, Montana, which is on Flathead Lake in Montana. It's actually a real town, but I took it and fictionalized it and kind of made it my own. But so you get to know the town, you get to know the different places in the town and the different things in the town, and then you get to know the people. And because it's a small town, the people, you see them quite a bit in other things that are going on in the town. So you might see somebody pop up, like there's a bar called the Timeout Bar and Grill, and you'll see a lot of the characters will sometimes be in the Timeout Bar and Grill in each other's books. So
fun.
Yeah, I always try to bring them back because I always like to know what's going on with other characters I've read about in series. So it's kind of nice to kind of give a little update in the books as people are reading them. So
Right.
I like to do that.
So you said you've written, not read. I don't want to, you've probably read a lot more books than 11. You've said you've written 11.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any unfinished or half-finished books going on?
I do. I have a lot. I have a paranormal romance series that I'm working on. It is based on, it's this whole entire universe I have created of a group of a family who was cursed. Their family was cursed many, many years ago, like centuries ago, to hunt monsters that they accidentally released onto the earth. And their bloodline has been cursed to hunt those monsters for eternity. And so I pick up the story with two best friends who are their monster hunters, and their friend who is a female, and she comes along, and she had left the monster hunting family for the longest time, and she finally came back, and now they're hunting monsters and trying to eradicate the monsters that their ancestors released on the earth. So it's going to be a whole
That
big old
sounds fun.
series. Yeah, it's fun. I've had a lot of fun writing it.
What kind of monsters are we talking? Like, are we talking old school
There,
classic?
we've got
or-
some old school classic monsters in there. I've got some vampires. I've got some werewolves
Okay.
in there. And then I've got some monsters that I created. Like I have one that's called a shatterer. It's hard to say it. It's much easier to read it than it is to say it out loud. It's called a shatterer, and it's almost like a demon where it can possess people and it can take over their bodies. And I've had so much fun with this because I've been able to create my own monsters and my own world and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun to write.
That's fun. I love seeing the monsters that are not necessarily traditional. I'm literally, right now I'm picturing, were you a Buffy fan?
Yes.
The Silence?
Yes.
With the four creepy guys.
The
I'm
creepy
sorry
guys,
that
yeah.
I'm probably like giving the whole audience creepy images right now. but I was like, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
And it was just so basic. If
Yes.
you look at like,
So
if you